Mound E, and it's not on the map, near as I can see. Nearly 13 feet high and about 300 feet by 360 feet at its base. At one time it was extended an estimated 90 feet or so. This ring and the ring that we looked at yesterday, which is probably 2 to 3 times larger, were just locations of post holes in a circle that the LiDAR system discovered as anomalies under the ground. Apparently there is nothing else associated with these, so they have really no clue. What is most curious to them is that these two things, circles, are within the plaza, which is within the semicircle, if you will, of ridges. So the ridges go from beyond that ring of white posts all the way out to those trees. I think it's 5, 6, 7 of them. And there's the large mound. Continue this pan. They continued the ridges on into those trees and all the way around until they encountered the Bayou Mesa. The unmown area that we're looking ahead of us is Ridge 2, just a part of it. And subsequently 3, 4, 5, etc. Some of these were found to be, I believe, 6.5 feet to 8 feet in depth of fill material. Now what we see now is the result of plowing over this century. So not only are the mounds much more shallow than they were originally, but through erosion and plowing, the soil that was on them has migrated into the swales in between the ridges, and so there looks like relatively little differentiation between the ridge and the swale. Years ago, imagine looking down this and seeing a sizable hump. Of course, we're standing on it, and all filled with a line of homes and people living their lives on these ridges. What did each ridge signify so far as the people on it? A different family, a different clan, who knows? Just the mere fact that their culture allowed the leaders to envision people being organized in this fashion is somewhat astounding. A very poor resolution photo from the air of this complex. Again, is a pretty damaged view of the topography of this mound, but you can see the bird shape. On the right, the tail, part of that was removed during earlier highway construction through there. A drawing or a relief carving of a bird. It's thought that the bird form of the major mound was used for decoration in incised designs on vessels or bird shapes for pendants. The symbol of the bird was obviously significant to the Poverty Point people. Always have to question the use of the word obviously. This is the right wing, severely damaged over time. It looks like it's actually been excavated out. And this is the tail, which would have been longer. The long axis outline. What we're looking at here with this, what looks like a ridge, actually was a causeway across what was a pond, starting from where the trees are on the left, that area, into the deeper area to the right. And then this causeway went this way, perhaps connecting outlying villages is the thought. Proving my point, which is no great achievement, archaeologists are aware of that, I asked, and they said they were. But here you can see there is more of a, I can see, you may not be able to see, a decline. In other words, a defile going down into that swale. And you can see the difference between this more level grade created from plowing and how it dips down even here, which is into a swale. So we'll cut through these areas just to see if we can see more evidence on the camera of this. I am pretty much as near as I can get, figured, in the bottom of the swale. And I can see that the elevation here is higher to my left, maybe 2.5 feet higher. And you can see that looking behind me, very abruptly, within 30 feet, I walk up onto, if you will, the plowing plateau, I'll call it. Also, as I look to my left, this tree right here, if you look to its right, you may be able to detect that the tree that's in the dead center there is on another ridge, and there's a swale between them that's reasonably pronounced. More so, I'd say the height may be 3 to 4 feet in difference. Particularly if I back up a little bit to where it's slightly lower. Now, natural erosion would have taken soil off the top of those ridges and migrated it down here. What's kind of interesting is what's the width of this? I'm coming out of the center of the swale as near as I could figure it. You can see that there's a swale beyond the area that I'm approaching right now. We're walking across the ridges, and that ridge we just walked up on top of, we're just about at the top of it now, and you can see how it drops down for the next ridge. The uncanny resemblance of this layout to footprints and diagrams that I've seen of subdivisions on maps is almost eerie. And this was 4,000 years ago.